It's been a couple weeks since set 16 dropped with an absolute bang. After the rough reception of set 15, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't a much needed breath of fresh air. So what makes set 16 so different? Well, you've got new units, new augments, even more new units, new traits, and even more new units? That's right, the mechanic for Lore and Legends is unlockable units, where you complete in-game missions and fulfill specific conditions to slowly unlock powerful new units in your game. It's been an absolute blast immersing myself in Runeterra's various regions and progressively discovering bigger and badder champions to put on my board. But what if we just ignore all that? What if we just never unlocked any of the unlockable units that the set designers worked so hard to put in the game? What if we just never put a single entry into the beautifully and meticulously designed Lore Finder? We're here today to answer the question, how far can you actually go without set 16's core mechanic? But before we can answer the question, we have to lay out the rules. The rules are actually pretty simple. All our games must be played solo, and the games have to be in the ranked TFT queue. My goal is to climb to Platinum without unlocking a single unit. I know, it's not the greatest goal, but it'll be proof that you can climb with 0 unlocks. If it all works out, I'll be continuing to climb with 0 unlocks on my stream later in January. But what does the term unlocking a single unit even mean? Well, it just means that we can't let a single entry on the Lore Finder get marked as discovered. I feel like the other 2 rules were given, so this is really the only rule we need to care about. That's it. Don't let it deceive you though. It seems like an easy rule to follow at first glance, but it starts to get super restrictive very quickly. For example, I want to play one really strong frontline unit. I mean, that's what a lot of comps need, right? A sturdy frontline to buy you time for your backline carries to rip through the enemy team. Well, you're gonna have to be careful not to put too many HP items on them, or else you're gonna unlock Volibear, and they'll just end the challenge right then and there. Oh, did I mention that since unlocking a unit permanently marks it as discovered on your Lore Finder, if I unlock a unit, I'm gonna have to just throw away the account and start the whole thing over? Yeah. That's why. Thinking of every possibility is crucial in this challenge. We unfortunately don't have any room for mistakes. One single unlocked champion, doesn't matter if it's a harmless 2-cost Poppy or the menacing 7-cost Sylas. One single unlock is enough to end our progress. Let's quickly go through all the possible ways we can accidentally unlock new units. During my research and planning, I've been able to sort everything into 3 difficulty categories: Silver, Gold, and Prismatic tiers, with Silver being the easiest and Prismatic being the hardest. We're gonna start with the Silver tier first. This tier is where I put all unlocks I consider unattainable without deliberately trying to go for them. The things here are the easiest to avoid and I can steer clear of them pretty effortlessly. Alright, let's get into the fun part and start listing them. First up we have Bard. This unit's unlock condition is to reroll the shop 4 times before the stage 2 carousel. I mean, this one's super easy to avoid, right? Just don't click the D key. Surely I can resist that. Right? Right? We got the ghouls from the Shadow Isles next. Gwen, Callista, and Thresh are super easy to avoid as they are unlocked by collecting souls, which you get from committing to Shadow Isles. If we just don't play Shadow Isles, we don't unlock any of them. Simple. Don't think I forgot about Yorick though. He'll come up later, since he's a little harder to avoid. A lot of the 5 costs are super avoidable if we just refuse to commit. Take Tahm Kench for example. If we never go all in on Bilgewater and spend 500 Silver Serpents, we never unbench the Kench. Same for Aurelion Sol. The Space Dragon over here, like many other units, is actually double gated. We need 5 Targon to bring him onto the board, but we can't even do that unless we unlock Diana first. So as long as we didn't catastrophically mess up the challenge, he's never leaving his Cosmic Timeout corner. Baron Nashor is staying deep in the void because we are never fulfilling his ludicrous unlock conditions. Get those creepy crawlies away from me. Okay, quiz time! Let's see whether you guys know how to avoid some of the unlockable units in this tier. How do we avoid Brock? I'll give you guys some time to think. You there, what do you think? Don't commit to Ixtal? That's correct. Alright, what about Galio? That's right. Don't commit to Demacia. What about Rift Herald? Yup, don't commit to Void. And what about T? What's that? You're tired of repeating the same answer? Okay, alright, I'll move on to other champions. Azir is a whole nother can of worms. Playing him puts my board at risk of unlocking Renekton, Nasus, or Xerath within a couple turns. It's better to just skip him before the whole Shuriman Empire shows up uninvited. We honestly don't have to think about Rise because, trust me, reaching level 9 is hard enough. Slotting in 4 regions on top of that is just out of the question. Tyler 1 is... wait, sorry, I meant Draven. Draven is going to be completely avoided this challenge, since his greedy brother Darius is going to show up if he generates even a single piece of gold. What about Nidalee or Yone? Well, they should be easy to avoid, since I can just avoid rerolling Nico or Yasuo. Zahen is technically in this tier as well because he's super avoidable, but I'll talk about him later. Phew, that was a lot. But that's only because a majority of the unlockable champions were in silver tier. Don't worry, the unlockable units from here on are harder to avoid, but there are a lot less of them. Now onto the gold tier. The gold tier is a little bit trickier since all the champions here have more complex unlock conditions. There technically isn't a hard trait cutoff like in the silver tier. We're allowed to play the Twisted Fate 2s, we're allowed to have the 2-star Leona. But the moment we pass the threshold, the moment we itemize the Twisted Fate or the Leona, we have an unlocked champion on our hands. That's why the units here are so hard to avoid. We need to keep in mind the countless unlock conditions the units in this tier have. First up, we have the I unlock with items on someone else gang. That includes Graves, Tryndamere, Yorick, LeBlanc, Mel, and Diana. We'll do our best to avoid the prerequisites, but luckily, even if we have no choice but to play them, we can just avoid putting items on them. Kai'Sa, Ziggs, and Poppy are like the leaders of the gang. Not only are they a little more dangerous, but their unlock conditions are slightly different too. It's putting items on any unit that shares a trait that unlocks them. I don't feel too worried about putting multiple items on Longshots or Zaunites, since Kai'Sa and Ziggs are level gated. But still, I'll probably try to avoid itemizing those units. I'll definitely avoid itemizing any Yordles or Demacians this challenge though. Let me mention the weird guys. Sett, Warwick, and Skarner are all funky in that they get unlocked by unusual conditions. If we don't do any stupid frontline positioning or buy Vi at all during this challenge, we're good. The Skarner condition is a little more difficult as that makes it so that we can't put Thief's Gloves on any carries. The risk of it rolling gargoyles and accidentally getting a Skarner is just way too high. And last but not least, we have Aatrox. His unlock condition isn't actually too bad. 40% Omnivamp is actually pretty hard to reach, and it's behind a level 8 level gate as well. It's just that a lot of small things can add up to 40%, and that can be a real headache. The Darken trait from Darken weapons, Celestial Blessing augments, Slayers, etc, etc. They all give small amounts of Omnivamp, and if that adds up to 1% over the threshold, we're cooked. Finally, the Prismatic tier. It's home to the units that have so many ways to get unlocked that even looking at their general direction will probably get them unlocked. I'll need to keep them in my mind at all times and stay vigilant to make sure I don't accidentally do one of the million possible things that'll set them free. Kennen, Singed, Fizz, Kabuki, and Yuumi, and Orianna are all part of the group that just unlock by having units that share a trait with them. We need to really pay attention to the number of Yordle, Invoker, Defender, Juggernaut, Zaun, Piltover, Bruiser, and Bilgewater units I play. Wow, what a list, huh? You're telling me Kennen, Fizz, and Kabuki and Yuumi all get unlocked by playing enough Yordles? What the actual fuck? And finally, the final boss of this challenge, Volibear. We need to be on constant alert to never go past the 3800 HP threshold. Like I mentioned before, one too many HP items on a 2-star frontline and we're cooked. Don't think I forgot about the augments. The augments are slightly easier to avoid since I can just, you know, not click on them. Or can I? Yeah, of course I can. It's not barred. The newest champion, Zahen, can easily be avoided by not clicking on the Xin Zhao hero augment. In fact, I'll be avoiding all hero augments since they all lead to an unlock one way or another. If I were to talk about the augments I had to avoid, this video would be double the length, so I'll only talk about some of them. Trait-specific augments like Dark Will's Invasion, Silco's Revenge, or Hard Commit is a no-go. Augments that give permanent HP to units on your team will make unlocking Volibear really easy, so we're not clicking those as well. We aren't going to be choosing any augments that give random items as well, like Binary Airdrop or Banded Thieves. In fact, all RNG augments like Clouded Chaos or Flexible are going to be ignored. So basically, all augments that sound like they could fit into any of those categories will pretty much be avoided. So, what can't we do? Let's see. Alright, let me write it all down. And there we go. That's, a lot, huh? So many things I need to avoid. What can I even play? Well, I first looked for traits that didn't lend much to unlock possibilities and I came up with this. Targon, Warden, Freljord, Arcanist, Disruptor, and Gunslingers. It's true that these guys have unlocks, but they have so few compared to some of the other traits in the game. They also had the easiest methods of avoiding unlocks, so I decided on committing to these traits for the duration of the challenge. Something you might have noticed is that the only real defensive trait we can use is Warden. The other three defensive traits, Defender, Bruiser, and Juggernaut, all lead to very easy unlocks. Warden does have some unlocks, Yorick and Thresh, but luckily they are gated by Shadow Isles. So Warden is our only defensive trait with no true unlocks. For the duration of the challenge, we're going to be spamming the Nautilus, Xin Zhao, Braum, Loris, Ornn frontline over and over again. When we don't have all the Wardens, our good buddies Leona and Taric will fill in. We just have to be careful to never itemize Xin Zhao or Leona. Oh right, we also need to make sure that no one unit in the frontline goes above 3800 HP. As for our backline units, we have more options. Aphelios with Freljord, Malzahar and Seraphine duo carry, Gunslinger Misfortune with Senna, and Arcanist with Ahri carry. These backline units lend to very few possible unlocks and are relatively uncontested, which means that they are perfect for this challenge. So we mix these two parts together and we get these. If you guys can think of a better comp, please let me know down in the comments. I already know my dumbass did not think of the most optimal comp for this challenge. They're just the simplest and most easy to pilot when there's a billion different unlock conditions racing through my mind. Alright, I'm gonna stop yapping. Let's ball. The first game started off really well. Okay. I mean, this guy's on... I think I just killed him here. Nice. Maybe a little too well. Maybe that's why I had to mess it all up. I'll give her Deathblade. Guinsoo, Jinx will get your red. Oh fuck. No! No, 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 no! Oh, please! Please! Oh shit. Oh shit. No! Alright. Off we go to another account. Off we go. So, I logged onto my second account and restarted my journey there. This game started off really well too. No heal cut here, which kind of sucks, but... Ah, shit. Can't do that. It looks like my team got cooked. What the fuck happened? Do I really need to go Braum 3? But like, then I need to take off all the items. But the difference was, I made it to the end without unlocking a single unit. I can't. It's, oh my god, it's gonna go over. Yeah, I can't do that. Shit. If I wasn't doing the challenge, I would've won the game, but... Good Kindred ult, good Kindred. Okay, I won. 0 unlocks. Okay, I won 0 unlocks, on to the next, I guess. Oh. GG's, man. Shit, bro, that guy made me fucking lock in. Holy. Alright, let's go to the next one. After the solid first game on the second account, I continued my placements. Holy shit. 3728. Oi oi oi. I'm getting a fucking heart attack every time I see this. Holy shit, bro. The third? Not bad. Do I need to roll here? I mean, I don't really want to become one life. I think I'm still strong enough though. Maybe next turn. Oh, that's 2 pairs. 3 pairs. 4 pairs. Okay, I'm rolling down until I hit it. Wow. I have 4 pairs, man. Nice. Okay, there we go. Sucks that my carries are still 1 star, but this guy is so capped. Okay, silver 438. I'll take that and check the lore finder. 0 out of 40. Let's fucking go. We made it through the placements. Alright. Alright, let's keep going. I did not, in fact, keep going. I finished my placements literally on the day I was flying home for the holidays, and that meant that I wasn't going to have access to a PC for a month to play and record TFT. I only had access to an old laptop that could run maybe 1 game of TFT before overheating. So, the unfortunate reality was, it was going to be a lot harder for me to continue the journey. But do we let the roadblock stop us? Of course not. Well, that's it. I hit Platinum with absolutely 0 unlocks. I wouldn't say that it's the hardest challenge in the world, but it's definitely not easy with all the unlock conditions I had to think about. The hardest units were, as expected, the champions in the prismatic tier, especially the Yordles. I really dislike Yordles now. And to those of you thinking that Platinum is too low of a rank to end on, don't worry. Like I mentioned before, I'll be continuing my climb with 0 unlocks live on stream later in January once I get back, so come stop by. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed that, please subscribe and let me know down below. I usually do double up interviews with TFT influencers, so if any of that sounds interesting to you, feel free to check it out. Alright, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.